Hello gorgeous people and welcome back to Flow Pilates. My name is Greta and for today's class I have got a full body strength class for you. So the focus today will be on building muscle endurance, getting that full fatigue. We're going to be using those heavier dumbbells. So I've got my pair of two 5 kg dumbbells. Again, I'd recommend anywhere between 3 to 5 kgs. We really want to try to up your weight if you do have a heavier pair on hand. In addition to this, I have got my ankle weights on. These are optional and we'll be moving through our flow, working through our abs, particularly some good shoulder work in there, as well as our quads and our glutes. All right, I'll meet you on your mat, lovely people, for our warm up. All right, gang, your hands come underneath your shoulders. We're gonna take a deep inhale breath, sending your belly button down towards your mat, arching through your lower spine as we lift our gaze. And as we take that exhale, rolling down through, tucking through your tailbone, looking down at your stomach. Beautiful. Inhale, we find that lift. And then exhale, I want you to think about blowing all that air out through your lungs as we roll forward. Just a couple more like this, making this a nice active warm up here. A little bit of spine mobility to start us off. Really rounding through our upper back as we find that cat stretch at the bottom. This last time we take that exhale, we're just gonna hold it there. Beautiful work. We're gonna roll through to find our neutral spine before we tuck through your toes, pike those hips to find your down dog. I'm just going to move through a slow pedal out of either heel. Inhale, exhale, right heel presses down. Inhale, exhale, left heel presses down. Sending your chest down towards your thighs. You're just here for 3, 2, last one. We find stillness through those legs. Can we roll forward into your plank position, just holding there. I want you to drop your chest down, rolling on up to find your upward facing dog. Holding there, we're just bringing your left shoulder back, right shoulder forward, twisting over that left shoulder, looking down to your ankles before swapping it on round. Right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. Nice work. Returning through center, just piking those hips up. Nice work. We can slowly walk your hands back to your feet now, just hanging heavy over those legs. We're bending through that left leg now as we reach that right hand up towards that sky. Inhale, we tap it back down, same side again. Right hand reaches as we bend through that left leg before we fully drop it back down. Other side, right knee bends, left arm to the sky. Tapping it back down before we exhale and find that last rotation here. Beautiful, beautiful work. We drop it back down. We slowly walk on out, finding that plank position. Moving through one last chaturanga, so dropping chest to your mat, rolling up to find that upward facing dog. But this time dropping your knees as we press back to find your child's pose. Just holding here for 3 nice long breaths, reaching those hands forward, inhaling through that nose and taking a strong, slow exhale through your mouth. One more like this. Inhale and exhaling for a count of 3, 2, and 1. All right, we're rising on up. Time to get into the work of class. Beautiful work. We're going to grab either one of your heavy dumbbells. We're rolling down onto our backs. We're going to send your dumbbells up towards the sky to start, and bracing through your belly. I want you to tuck through your pelvis slightly, sticking your lower back down onto your mat, feeling that imprinted spine before we brace through your belly and draw each leg up to your tabletop position. Beautiful. So inhale, we're going to tap your left foot down to the mat. Exhale, we lift it up. Other side. Right toes tap and we lift. So just starting with a little bit of core warm up. I want you to think about keeping those legs in a true 90-90 position here. So checking your knees are stacked over the line of your hips. They're not starting to sneak in, especially as we start to fatigue through this movement pattern. Beautiful. As we exhale, thinking about emptying through those lungs, sucking that belly button down into your spine as if we're wearing a corset. Lovely work. Okay, this next time we drop that left toes, can you bend through your right arm, taking that hammer curl? We extend back up, other side. Left arm bends, right toes touch, extend it back up. So we're adding in that tricep work. Gorgeous, working alternate sides each time. Nice, getting a nice range of motion through those dumbbells. Letting those elbows stay in that straight line. Try not to let them flare out. Beautiful work. You're just here for 4. Adding that next layer in 3, 2. Last one like this. We're going to press up and hold. Can we take a double leg extension now as we bend those elbows down to our waist? They draw up to the sky. We reset. We go through one toe tap, one arm bend, each side, before we drop both elbows, take that leg extension. Nice work, team. So just a beautiful warm up for our arms today, for those lower abdominals. Checking that we're still in that nice, either tucked tailbone position, imprinted spine, or you can have an ever so slight pocket of air to hold your neutral. I don't want to see any lower backs arching and flaring off your mat. Nice work, team. Keep flowing through like this. You're so strong. You're just going to give me 2 more full rounds just like this. Inhale, we drop. Exhale, we lift it up. All right, you should be coming into that last rep now. Last one. Beautiful. We're going to take that double leg extension. Drop with those dumbbells. We meet at the top. We're just working that left toe, right arm. We tap, we press. Here for 5. Super strong, team, for 4. Try not to rush this. 3, 2. Last one, straight to the other side. Left arm, right toes. We bend, we extend. Using that exhale as we take that lift for 5, 4. Nice work. We hold up in the top in 1, in 3, 2. Last one, we meet at the top, holding there. We're just working that double arm bend and leg extension. Here for 5, extend those legs as low as you can. Giving me 4. Beautiful. Here for 3, 2. Nice work. Last one. We extend those legs. You're going to drop those dumbbells or reach those arms forward. Just holding here, you and your breath. Final count for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug those knees in. You can take a quick little circle out with those legs. We're going to roll on up now, team. We're moving straight into our standing series. So flip it on round. Come standing at the top of our mat, holding each one of our heavy dumbbells. Nice work. Dumbbells are going to start at our shoulders. Beautiful. Hips are just wider than hip distance apart. I want you to have a slight, ever so slight external rotation, not much at all. Inhale, we're just going to squat it down. Exhale, we drive up. Nice work, team. Beautiful. We will add layers as always, but for now, just focus on that slow range of motion. Try not to rush this. Lowering for 2, lifting for 2. Beautiful. It's all about that time under tension for our legs today. We're going to start off with that left side. So when you're ready, after this next squat, we're going to rise up and hold, stepping that right toe back just on the ball of that foot. We sink down, we come back, we squat. So just adding a little V squat, step back, alternating one of those to one full squat. As we take that V squat, we're favoring that left side, yeah, team? So I want all your weight through that left front heel. Nice work. Focusing on sending that tailbone back behind us. We can hinge forward slightly with the chest, helping getting that load through your glutes. Nice work. Okay, this next time we take that V step, let's hold, sinking down. I want you to just do a slow, controlled halfway pulse down to your full range. We rise up, go into our squat. Nice work. So with that V sit, we're just adding that slow bottom half rep before we drive up and squat it out. Nice work. So even with that squat now, team, I want you to start about transitioning more load through that left leg. So it's under that constant time under tension. Just rising up to that 3/4 mark as well to stay low and loaded through that leg. You guys are doing so well. Nice work. You're just gonna give me 2 more full reps just like this. 2 more. Can we sink a little bit lower? Last full rep now. Nice work. We're gonna take that squat at the top. All together. This time we're gonna move through that step back into your V and hold. Just working those slow and controlled pulses. Down an inch, up an inch. Whew. Weight through that front left foot. You're here for a count of 6. Beautiful. Here for 5. Giving me 4, 3, 2. Last one. Nice work. We drive up. Weights lower. Straight into it. Inhale. Just a step back lunge. Exhale. We drive up. Nice work. Chest stays relatively upright here. Dumbbells along to begin with. I want you to think about keeping those shoulders rolled back and down. Controlling that step back. Can we just lightly touch that back right knee on the mat each time? Nice work. Hips are square towards the front of your mat. You might feel like you need to ever so slightly nudge that left hip back. That's cool, team. Good work. All right, this next time as we lunge, we're adding on, can we curl those dumbbells? We release the curl, we stand. So curl to lower, rise and release. Nice work. Adding on through these arms in this sequence. Again, this is a dynamic full body class. We've already hit some triceps, going into biceps, and then we're now going to transition into shoulder work with this next layer. Exhale to stand, inhale to lower. Okay, this next time we step back, we're holding together, curling all the way to your shoulders. We take that press, we lower, we stand. So we're taking a full curl to those shoulders, team, now, before we take that overhead press. Nice work, team. So, since we're going heavier with those dumbbells, don't worry about speeding it up. It's all about that control. I'd rather you guys move really slowly. It's all about building that time that we're hanging out at the bottom of this movement for. You've just got 4 more like this. Beautiful. Chest is proud at the bottom. Stepping back a little bit further. with that right foot. Last 2. Nice work. Final rep, we meet at the top after this one. All together after this last rep, we're stepping back. We're holding there. Holding at the bottom, we're just working that press and lower. Here for 5. Whew. For 4, nice and slow team. Giving me 3. 2, last one. We lower those dumbbells all the way to our sides. Nice work, we're just taking a pulse. Down and up, down and up. Nice and slow. Giving me 6, 5, 4. Yes, my glute is on fire too. The 3, 2, last one. Nice work, we drive up, extending that back right foot. Nice work, we're moving into some arabesque. So when you're ready, hovering that leg off your mat, we curl as we lift that leg. Going again, we sweep it back as we dive that chest forward. A bit of a balance challenge, team. If you're feeling wobbly today, I want you to just drop that foot down and then step it back like that. So just adding that toe tap for extra stability. Otherwise, you're flowing through that full arabesque. Nice work. Okay, adding on. This next time we take that rise at the top, hovering our leg, holding there. We're taking that overhead press nice and slow. We lower, we extend back into our arabesque. We take a double-handed row. We release, flow up into that press. Nice work. This is a huge challenge for our balance today. If you're on unstable ground like me, it adds that extra little bit of challenge. Thinking about still wrapping on through that right glute, left glute, sorry. Nice work. See how high we can extend our back leg in that arabesque. Beautiful. You've just got 3 more like this, flowing through at our own pace. Beautiful. If you haven't taken that leg hover option now, maybe challenge yourself for these last 2 full reps. Nice work. All right, we're gonna take our last arabesque here before we go down our rabbit hole together. Taking our row, we're all gonna meet at the top with that right leg hovered, holding there, just working our press and lower. Exhale as we press, inhale as we lower, focusing on a point in them on the ground to help stabilize you, team. We're here for 5, 4, nice work, 3, in 2, we're sending that leg back, last one, leg goes back, chest dives forward, holding there in that arabesque, we're just working that row and lower, squeezing those shoulder blades as we draw those dumbbells to your chest. Here for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, we row the dumbbells into your chest, just pulsing that back leg up and up. Here for 5, lowering a little bit more through that left front leg for 4, 3, 2, last one, lowering that leg, dumbbells drop to your mat. I want you to step back to find our plank position. Dumbbell comes to the center of your hands. Beautiful. Pressing the mat away, squeezing your glutes. Nice work. When you're ready, we're walking that left foot in. Right foot in, left foot out, right foot out. Other side now. Right, left, right, left. So, as we move through these walkouts, I want us to imagine that we're balancing a tray of our favorite beverage on our back, keeping our core as stable as you absolutely possibly can. Gorgeous work. Back stays flat, gaze just in front of those hands. Minimal rest today, team. You're doing so well. Okay, this next time, we're all gonna step those legs in and hold it there in your bear hover. Left hand grabs the dumbbell. We're moving through one row with that left hand. We drop, changing it over, row with that right hand. Dropping it before we step back, back, in, and in, moving through those 2 rows. This is a core stability challenge here, team. As we're balancing just on those 3 points to the mat, each time we go for that row. All right, this next time, we take that step back into your plank. Let's hold it there. Can you take 1 push-up before we step it in and move through those rows? Nice work, team. Regression here is to drop those knees before you take your push-up. Beautiful. You are so strong. Doing so well. After this next push-up, we're gonna add on. Can we push up and hold? We're gonna press back to your heels and drive forward. Last one. We press back, we drive forward before we step those legs in and move through that row combo. Nice work, team. We're not repeating this movement pattern, so really pushing through that fatigue today. Nice work. Focusing on hitting each shape in this movement pattern. You've just got 2 more full reps like this. 2 more. Making them our best. Seeing if we can lower slightly more depth of range through our push-up. Gorgeous work. All right, you should be nearly on that last rep now. Last one. If you need a moment to shake it out, please do so now. Otherwise, if you're like me, we're finishing it off strong. Stepping back, moving through that push-up, 2 pushbacks, and then we meet in your plank. Holding in your plank, team. Beautiful. We're stepping those legs in, finding that bear hover, just working that row on your left and your right. Keep swapping it over. Here for 8. Oh my God, I am sweating, team. For 7. 6. Knees are nice and close to the ground. For 5. 4 and 3, we step back to find your plank. Final 2. Last one. We're stepping back to your plank. Holding there. Just working that press back and forward. Exhale. Inhale, we pull forward to plank. Drawing your belly button up to your spine as we find that lengthen through your legs. Here for 5. 4. Nice work, holding in that plank. In 3. 2. Last one, we draw forward to plank. We hold, push-ups to finish. Knees or toes. You guys have got it, giving me 5. 4. 3. Last 2. Last one. All right, this next time we're gonna lower down and hold. You on your breath for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, pressing back to find that child's pose. Oh my God, you guys absolutely smashed that. That was not easy. Love working out in the heat. So the fun is we get to do all that leg series on the other side. So rise on up, grab both of your weights and come to the edge of your mat, team. Beautiful. We're gonna take that stance just wider of hip distance, slight external rotation with your feet, and your dumbbells are gonna come up to your shoulders. Inhale, we squat it down. Exhale, we press it up. Starting off with these squats. Nice work. Good time just to settle your breath, focus back on our movement. We now know what's coming for us, so it's time to knuckle down and smash out this right hand side with our legs. Beautiful. All right, after this next squat, we're gonna add on. Can we step that back, left toes into that V squat before we draw it forward, taking that regular squat. So adding that little V step, alternating with our squat, starting to transition more of our weight into that front right foot now, team. Just like the other side, want to keep our hips square towards the front of the mat. Try not to sway off to either side, especially as we move into that step back with our V. Just giving me 3 more like this. Nice and slow, team, not hurrying it. All right, after this next squat, we're moving into that step back, holding there, moving through that slow bottom half up, pulsing it back down before we drive up, move into that squat. So adding that pulse, all about increasing that time under tension at that end range of motion, team. Whew. I don't know about you, but my right glute is already feeling it. Nice work, team. You've just got 3 more full reps like this. 3 more. Can we slow it down a little bit more for these final 2? Nice work, wrapping on through that right working glute. The last rep. We're taking this V step. Nice work. We move into that full squat, holding at the top now. All together, we're stepping back into that V. We're just working that bottom half. Up an inch, down an inch, nice and slow pulses. Whew, yes, you can. You are stronger than you think. Just give me 5. 4, I am feeling this just as much as you are. For 3, 2, last one, we drive up, lower those dumbbells. Quick reset. Inhale, left leg steps back. Exhale, we drive up. Moving into that step back lunge, team. No rest for the wicked with this class. We're all about keeping those transitions nice and fluid, keeping that full body work throughout the entire class. Beautiful. Nice and slow. Lowering for 2 and lifting for 2. Just lightly tapping that back left knee each time in that lunge. Giving me 3 before we add on. Last 2. Nice work. We're adding that curl this next time. We lower, we're curling those dumbbells. We rise, we lower. We curl as we lower. So chest stays upright here, team. Shoulders are rolled back and down. Working this 90-90 lunge. So that means we're not hinging forward with your chest. Back leg is being bent. It also means slightly more work for our quads in addition to our glutes. Here for 4. Then we're adding our press in 3. Final 2. All right, this next time we step back, we're holding. We're taking that slow press up. We lower it down. We stand, release your curl. That is that full challenge, team. As always, all of these layers are optional, so just taking whichever one feels best for you and your body today. If you need a moment at the top just to tap it out and join back in when feels ready, please do. Otherwise, you've just got 3 more. 3 more. You are so strong. Lengthening those arms slightly more. Sinking a little bit lower in that lunge for 2. Last one here. We're meeting at the top. Nice work. Ever so quick moment. All together, we're taking that step back, curling those dumbbells. We're just working that press and lower here for just a count of 5. 4, 3, beautiful work, giving me 2. Last one. We can lower those dumbbells to your side, staying in your lunge, just those bottom halves. Down and up. Final count before we get to stand for 5, 4, 3, gorgeous work, 2, and on 1 we can stand all the way up. Nice work. You can give that glute a quick tap out. We've just got those arabesques, team. Final push for the legs today. When you're ready, we're sending that leg back, diving forward with your chest. We draw it in, curling those dumbbells, lift that left leg, flowing through like this. This is a huge balance challenge, especially once those legs, that leg is already fatigued, keeping that nice soft bend through that right leg. Gorgeous work. Again, that modification is just to hover that toe off the mat as we draw in, and then stepping it back into that glute lunge rather than lengthening to your arabesque. Beautiful. Last one like this before we add on. This time we're rolling on up, taking our curl. Can we move through that one overhead press nice and slow? We flow into your arabesque, double-handed row. Oh, my balance. Double-handed row. Dumbbells to your chest. We lower, we rise, curl, and we press. Nice, team. You guys are going so well. We're just going to move through 3 more like this. 3 more in your own time. Lovely work, squeezing those shoulder blades each time we take that row at the bottom. Last one like this before we meet at the top in that knee hover. Nice work. Knee hovers. We curl those dumbbells. We're just working that press. We press, we lower. Focusing on that point on the ground, giving me 5. You've got it. Here for 4. Shoulders back and down for 3. On 2, we lower those dumbbells. Last one. And we lower those dumbbells. Extend your leg. Gorgeous work. We're just working through those rows. Exhale row. Inhale to lower for 5. 4. 3. Lovely work. 2. On 1, we row to your chest. We hold. Just lifting that back leg up and up. Final count now for 5. 4, 3, 2. Last one, we can lower down. Drop those dumbbells. Roll forward with your chest. Oh my God. Nice, nice work, team. You guys did so well. When you're ready, just dropping to your tailbone. We've got one final finisher of class. We're just finishing off with a quick supine abdominal set. So lying down on your back, abs to finish, because why not? And when you're ready, bracing through that belly, refloating those legs to find your tabletop position. Feels like we're back at the start already. Fingertips to your temples. We're going to take that strong inhale breath to prepare. And as we exhale, we're curling our head and chest off the mat. Beautiful. Inhale to lower. Exhale, we take that curl. Nice work, team. So as we take this curl, I want you guys to think about lifting through that shorten of our rib to hip connection rather than a straining and pulling of your neck. So really feel that crunch through our midsection to help us lift up. Beautiful. I want you to move slowly and move with intention. All right, we're gonna add on in 3. Last 2. All right, this next time we lift, we're holding up. Can we drop your left toes to the mat as we twist over towards the right? Nice, returning through center, keeping your chest high before we lower it back down. Other side, we curl. Right toes to mat, twist to the left. Center, and tap it back down. Nice work, team. So trying to separate that twist to that lower, to your mat. Nice work. It's a clear distinction between these movements. Feeling those obliques switch on as we're taking strong rotation to each side. You guys are smashing it. We've just got one final layer after this rep. Okay, this next time, we're gonna curl up. We're taking that twist, left toes tap, right as we twist over, return through center. As we lower our chest, we're tapping both toes down onto your mat. So we lift before we take that rotation. Beautiful. You guys are so strong. There's nothing else after this set. So really focus on that fatigue through our abs. Just giving me 5 more like this. Using that exhale. Imagining we're blowing out a candle through our lips. Final 2 now. Nice work. Last rep. All right, we meet at the bottom. Quick moment. Inhale. As we exhale, we're taking that curl, legs to tabletop. We're just working that left side. Rotating to your left, right toes tap. Just working like this for 5. Chest stays high for 4. 3, gorgeous work. Giving me 2. Last one, all right, staying high, going all the way over, traveling to the right side. Just working that twist to the right and center for 5. 4, gorgeous work. We're so nearly there for 3. 2, last one. We return through center, just pulsing up and up with your chest. Tiny movements, crunching through that midsection. Beautiful work. This is just you for your final count of 5. 4, 3, 2, last one. And lower all the way down. Knees can come into your chest. Taking that rock out. All right, time for the cool down. All that hard work is done. Heck yeah, I know I am definitely sweaty after that. So I'm just gonna pop off my ankle weights for this cool down. Feel free to do the same, and then I'll meet you just in that 4-point position. We're gonna tuck through those toes, sending those hips up, refinding that downward dog that we started class in. Just moving through that slow pedal out with your either leg, taking any sort of rock or movement with your hips that feels good. Maybe lengthening out a bit further through those arms now that the body's all nice and warm and open. When you're ready, just finding stillness. Then sweep that left leg up and pulling it up and through over to that left hand side. Nice work. Just rocking back from like forward and back on that leg, trying to deepen that stretch and open through our hips here. Nice work. Just finding stillness now. Inhale, exhale. Left hand can reach up towards the sky before we thread it on through, wrapping under our waist. Beautiful. Taking that exhale and inhale. Last time we're going to take that reach, holding there, sweeping that hand back, rinsing out through our spine. We sweep it back, drop it down, and send those hips back. Nice work. Other side, right leg to the sky, threading it over to that right hand side, just taking that slow forward and back with your hips. Sending those hips down and forward as we press towards the front of our mat. Beautiful work, just here for 3, 2, gorgeous work. Last one, we pull forward, we find stillness. Inhale, exhale, right hand to the sky before we thread it down, wrap under our stomach. Nice work. Exhale, taking that beautiful twist. This last time we hold in the top of that twist. Nice work, extending a little bit further up towards the sky, reaching through your fingertips before we sweep it back. Reaches back high and we drop it down. Nice work. Finishing off just in a child's pose, sending those hips nice and wide here, sinking back, reaching those hands forward. Nice work, just settling in nice and deep. Beautiful. Thanking yourself for showing up today. Trying just to soak in these last few seconds without rushing off to the rest of your day. Being grateful that we can move our bodies. And then when you're ready, just rising on up. Finishing off with that nice clearing breath. We're going to take that inhale as we sweep those hands nice and high, feeling that good energy shift in our body. And as that exhale, sweeping them down, give yourself a huge clap for showing up on the mat today with me. I hope you enjoyed today's session. As always, let me know what you think down in the comments, and I will see you lovely people for our next class.